Hello, today I'm going to show you an awesome unboxing video by me for you. Today let me introduce you this awesome iPhone 14. Oh, this is a big phone. iPhone 14 is 6.1 inches and the Plus version is awesome 6.7 inches large. And it comes with the longest battery life ever. And of course, SOS emergency via satellite. A huge leap in low light photos inclusive too. That's awesome and wonderful. You can take it in different colors like blue, purple, midnight, starlight and product red. And our photo, our font, our widgets. This is our iPhone. And this comes with iOS16. This lets us customize our lock screen in fun new ways. Layer a photo to make it pop. Track our activity rings. And we can see live updates from our favorite apps. And the app tracking transparency lets us decide which apps are allowed to track our activity. It's just one example of how the iPhone is designed to put us in control of what we share and who we share it with. And vital new safety features. Wow, that will be a better and a safer way to go through our lives. Of course, we hope we will never need it, okay? Of course. But if it is, you can count on it. Peace of mind when we are off the grid. If we don't have cell phone service or Wi-Fi phone, we let us text emergency service over satellite too. And this is an awesome feature, I think. Really. The satellites are moving targets with low bandwidth. It can take minutes for a message to get through. Since every second counts, the iPhone front loads a few questions to access our situation. We just tap to respond. Then it shows us where to point to connect to a satellite. Once connected, the iPhone automatically sends our answer, location, medical ID, if we set up before, and battery level to a dispatcher. And we must be outdoor for this feature. And we must have a clear view of the sky. Since the satellites are moving rapidly through the space, the iPhone will show us where to point to maintain our connection and avoid obstructions such as mountains and heavy foliage. And texting via satellite, of course it takes time. In ideal condition, we can send a message in less than 15 seconds under light foliage. It can take more than a minute too. And emergency SOS via satellite is included for free with iPhone 14 for 2 years. This is an infrastructure of innovation in this device. The Apple design components and software allows the iPhone 14 antennas to connect to satellite frequencies. And since the bandwidth is low, they created a compression algorithm that makes the text message 3 times smaller, speeding up communication too. On the ground, they route our text message through a complex infrastructure to emergency service providers. Only some accept the text. For those that don't, they have set up emergency relay centers with Apple trained specifications who call for help on our behavior. And of course, we can let friends know how remote we go. If we are on adventure without cell service, we can now use Find My to share our location via satellite, so friends and family know where we are. This is another awesome thing here. And the second cool stuff is crash detection. This calls for help when it is necessary, when we can't do that. The iPhone 14 can detect a severe car crash, then call 911 and notify our emergency contacts. That's cool, isn't it? Sudden speed shifts. A new high G-force accelerometer senses extreme accelerations on decelerations up to 256 Gs. And of course, the iPhone can check the cabin pressure change. The barometer can detect the pressure change caused by deploying airbags. And abrupt change in directions. A high dynamic range gyroscope monitors drastic changes in a car's orientation and loud sound level of impact. If there is a crash, there will be loud sound. While we are driving, the microphone identifies the extreme sound level of a collision. For privacy, all processing is done on our phone. And it works good because of the laboratory crash tests. Apple developed advanced motion algorithms by performing the head-on, rear-end, side impact, and rollover crash tests. And of course, it additionally get this with real-world crash data. They use public crash data from the accident to make crash detection as accurate as possible. And 1 million hours of real-world driving and crash data helps our iPhone recognize accidents. And there's more. It's not only these two parts, which are really awesome. A huge plus for the battery. We get our best battery life every on iPhone 14 and Plus. An awesome all-day battery life on iPhone. We can go with the Plus 26 hours video playback and 20 hours video playback on the iPhone 14. And of course, we add a MagSafe charger for faster wireless charging. And 21% more screen. Now that's big. The iPhone 14 Plus has a supersized Super Retina XDR display. That's really supersized. But the iPhone 14 is awesome too. And with OLED technology, this delivers incredible contrast for brights and whites and true blacks. And a high resolution in the color accuracy. This makes everything look sharp and true to life. And of course, True Tone. This makes our display easier on the eyes by adjusting to the ambient light. And the iPhone 14 Pro has dynamic island. Maybe you will look there. But the 14 is awesome too, because so many features from the iPhone 13 Pro are now available on the iPhone 14, but for a better price. This is not enough. It comes with a cam packet. That means more epic pictures. A new main camera, an improved image processing, let us capture even more sensational shots in all kinds of light, especially low lights. And up to 2.5 faster and more better low light photos on the main camera. Up to 2 times better low light photos on the ultra wide camera. And a new main camera features a bigger sensor and a larger aperture that let in 49% more light. And this is really awesome. We depth the shutter, and the new photonic engine goes beyond what the camera alone can do. It merged the best pixels from multiple exposure at an earlier stage than ever before. This preserved much more image data to deliver brighter, more lifelike colors and beautifully detailed textures in even lower light. And we can choose the ultra-wide camera to capture unique perspectives and way more of scene. And a bright true tone flash is included too, with more consistent lighting. And night mode automatically kicks in for especially dark scenes. So we get brighter and sharper photos, not only at daytime. And that means up to 2 times faster night mode exposure of the main cam. And Smart HDR4 recognize up to 4 people in our shot and automatically refines contrast, lighting and skin tone for each one. And portrait mode. This puts the focus on our subject by artfully blurring the background. And now the foreground too. And this is cool. That's really cool. And of course, When apps request access to our photo phones, lets us call the shots by sharing just one we want instead of our entire library. And of course, there's more in the package. We can go steadier. Wherever we are filming while hiking up a rocky trail or chasing our kid through the park, we can try the action mode for smooth handheld videos. And this is like a gimbal. This is a really awesome function. Home movies that look like Hollywood movies. Cinematic mode automatically shifts focus to the most important subject in a scene, just like filmmakers can do that. And now we can record in 4K and 24 frames. The same frame rate we can see in the movies on the big screen. And highest quality videos in smartphones. And there's more. If we flip our phone to us, we snap our sharpest, most colorful close-ups and group shots. Thanks to a new true-depth front camera with autofocus and a larger aperture. That means up to 2 times better low-light photos in our front. On the count of 3, say we. Know that the true-depth camera can automatically focus on multiple subjects at once, all as selfies from stunning close-ups to group shots. Look, their sharpness, awesome, really. And the larger aperture lets in lots more light, capturing brighter color and finer detail in low-light scenes. You can see a lot of awesome stuff is coming there. 38% better light gathering performance. And that means both sides with the camera system brings us new awesome possibilities. The TrueDepth camera and the A15 Bionic also power the Face ID, the most secure facial authentication in a smartphone. And of course, for the nature, iPhone 14 uses 100% recycled gold wire in all its camera systems to reduce mining of precious resources. And there it is, the heart of the iPhone 14, the A15 Bionic. That's fast, that lasts. The iPhone 14 has the same super speedy chip that's in the iPhone 13 Pro. The A15 Bionic with a 5-core GPU, graphic processing unit. This powers all the latest feature and makes graphically intense games and artificial reality apps feel ultra fluid. An updated internal design delivers better thermal efficiency, so we can stay in the action longer. And a secure enclave in A15 Bionic protects the personal information like our Face ID, contacts and more. And SIM trays on the market. eSIM makes things simple. It's an industry standard technology that lets us activate our new iPhone or add the carrier digitally. So we are calling and texting in no time. And unlike a physical card, an eSIM can't be removed if our phone is lost or stolen. But in the European version of the iPhone 14, there is a physical SIM card tray, okay? And in this case, you can choose what you like, eSIM and physical SIM card. So, this is the awesome iPhone 14. And it looks great, and it makes a good job. Oh yeah. Let's perform a nice setup of this Apple iPhone 14. Everything is ready to use, and we can start our phone by pushing on the power button on the right side. If we perform this, the Apple logo is done, we are rebooted or we rebooted the first time. This screen you can see. Now we swipe upward. The next step is we choose our language, English for example now. We select our country origin. You can choose your country origin, in which country you are right now when you perform this setup. Now you have the possibility to choose the quick start guide. This brings our current phone or iPad near this iPhone, if we have one, and they will sign in and set up automatically each other. This is awesome, but if you does not have another iPhone or iPad, you can go with setup manually again. Then, written and spoken language. We can prefer languages in English, keyboard is in English, as you like, or you can customize these settings. Now, the next step is really important because this phone has to make a phone call, or it's not a phone call, it is an hello world sign to the Apple service. And this is only possible via the Wi-Fi network. If you have a Wi-Fi network at home, no problem. You can choose between a 5.0 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz network. Push the network which is yours at home or in your office. Then it will need a password. This password you will come from the admin or look underneath your router. This password we have to enter here to enter into the Wi-Fi network. If we enter the password, we can go to join. Now we join our Wi-Fi network and it may take a few minutes to activate our phone because now the information from the Apple server are coming to this phone and the other way. That means this phone tells the world, here I am now. That's good. But for this, we will need the internet. Now we get the information here, data and privacy. This icon here appears when an Apple feature asks to use our personal information. This is an information. Okay, let's continue. Now the next step is we have to make a Face ID because to unlock our phone or to use Apple Pay, we will need Face ID. And Face ID is a nice thing because it will scan your face and you do not have to enter a PIN, for example. Of course, you can perform this without Face ID. That's possible too. But now, because Face ID is so good, we perform this. So how we can set up the Face ID? First, the position of face in the camera frame. Then we move our head in a circle to show all the angles of our face. Okay, let's go. Here we are. There we are. And now I'm rotating. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's good, isn't it? Now, there's a possibility of if we use Face ID with a mask. This is good. Let's perform this because then this area just not shown again. And this makes the phone possible to unlock while we are wearing a mask. This phone now sees that I'm wearing glasses. So we have to perform another Face ID scan without my glasses. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. That it was. The only step now is we have to go to continue and create a passcode. The passcode we will need if we reboot the system after an update, for example, or if it is crashed or something else. You should use another PIN as mine here, okay? But I now use that passcode to continue now. Now the next step is apps and datas. We can already, we like to, if you have an Apple device which is restored in the iCloud, you can restore it out of the iCloud backup. This is the first letter. Or from a Mac on a personal computer via iTunes. Or we transfer directly from an iPhone in the nearly. And there is a possibility once to move the data from an Android phone on this phone. And we don't transfer apps and data now. The next step is we have to create an Apple ID, okay? For this, we push there on the Apple ID question mark. And the Apple ID is the entrance key to the Apple world. So we have to enter an Apple ID by giving us our email address to Apple with a passcode, which we can choose. And this is your Apple ID, and on all the entire Apple devices, you can use this to use iCloud, the store, the App Store, or other Apple services too. So let's perform this. You create a new Apple ID and I enter mine. After you enter your Apple ID, then the next thing is terms and conditions. You have to read them, of course, and then you have to agree them, of course. If it does not agree them, you cannot use it. So now it maybe takes a few minutes to set up your Apple ID with that smartphone here. This is how much or how fast your internet traffic is. This can take a minute or two, and then we can continue in the setup process. Now we can have a look here on the phone screen. You can see it's an edge-to-edge screen. You have the notch both here. You have some information about your Wi-Fi network, and there's a battery. So now we make this to our new iPhone. You can now customize your apps and datas. You can customize the settings, and you can customize the app wallet. Let's continue. It's now black because I choose black on an Apple device before. Now we set up the mobile service, okay? We can transfer a phone number from a nearby phone, or we can make a QR code scan from this network, from our network provider to make this smartphone compatible with an electronic SIM card. You can also, in the Europe version, you can also use a SIM card, a nano SIM on the left side here. So we have the possibility to transfer from nearby iPhone or with using QR code. The QR code you have to scan, or you can make this manually here. If you done this, we can go forward. I skipped this, okay? The next thing is we can add cards like Visa, MasterCard, American Express as well to your wallet. This is good if you have them. Then you enter here the card or file and the security code, and then this will be stored in your wallet and you can use it later. So now we are going to iPhone Analytics. If we choose this, we share with Apple informations about our user experience or our crashes on apps and iPhone crashes, not drop crashes, but software crashes, for example. This is good to make a better iPhone next time, or this because of patches. The same we can choose by App Analytics. This is for the app creators. Then the next thing is Emergency SOS. The phone is ready to help in an emergency situation. We press and hold the power button here and one of the volume up or volume down button at the same time for a little time, like 3 or 5 seconds. Then it will make a sound, an SOS sound, and of course it will call for emergency. Crash detection is too. If our phone detects a serious car crash, it will automatically try to call the emergency services and emergency SOS via satellite. Then you can point the iPhone with the satellite in the sky, and then you can make an SOS call. That's cool. And now we come in to our iPhone. Swipe upward, then you can choose this here, not now. You can now navigate by your fingers over the home screen. Let's do this right here. On the left side here, you get some informations like the status of the battery status or some news. Then, of course, we can swipe from the upper side down. This is the lock screen. And on the upper right side, we can swipe down too. For this, you can make a control area here to light up a little bit, light down, brightness level, sound level, or here plates something, flight mode, Wi-Fi on, enable, disable, and so on. To come out of it, swipe upward a little bit. Okay, then the next thing is we can choose some apps here, for example, and to come back to the screen, if you are in an app, okay, we are here now in the clock app. If you go back on the screen, swipe upward a little bit. If you have still running apps in the background, you can swipe up and hold it until you reach the center. And then you can navigate between all running apps in the background and choose them, for example. Let's go here, choose that to the photo app. And we can, in the photo app, we can choose the style over our photos, use standard. And now we can choose and swipe upward to go back to the home screen. We have here the phone call app. Here is the browser. Here is short message or messenger. Here is the music, settings, wallet, health app. That's really important. A podcast, app store, maps, television, Apple TV, the clock, reminders, notes. All Apple apps are still on the phone. And if you like to navigate or to edit the home screen, push and hold one of the app, and then you can per drag and drop get these apps in an edit function. To delete something, go to the minus and delete the app. Here we are. But you can also pre-download or download it back from the App Store, of course. So, for example, let's make a little bit here. Photo, you can see you can choose the zoom level, the same in video, cinematic mode, slow motion, and time-lapse video. You can choose the zoom. Here we have photo, portrait, and panorama. And of course, we have not only here camera system, we can rotate it to the other side. And here we are now at the front side of mine. Here is the same video, cinematics, and time-lapse, slow motion as well. And of course, if you take some videos, you can choose here the frame rate, 60 frames or 30, HD or 4K. Here is the action mode, and here is the flash function. To go and make a video, push this or push one of the volume up and volume down buttons. You push, push. Okay, let's go back. Here you can see it's really easy to navigate and really easy to use that device here. To bring this device in standby mode, only push on the right side the button. To wake it up, you can push here. No, it's only a tap and swipe upward. Of course, your face has to be in front of this phone. And then you're back in business. So easy. And we are now in our awesome device with this awesome iOS. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe me and give me a positive feedback. And I hope to see you again on my channel. So soon.